There's a lot of misinformation online about IRS Form 1099-C and what it really means. Some people think canceled debt is free money and they can just ignore this form. Others assume they'll automatically owe a ton of taxes when they receive one. The truth is, neither of those assumptions are always correct. In this video, I'm breaking down the IRS Form 1099-C, when you might receive one, and whether or not you actually need to pay taxes on canceled debt. I'll also show you how to properly file it so you don't get into trouble with the IRS. And if you want to make filing your taxes simple and stress-free, so let's talk about it. What is IRS Form 1099-C? So this form is known as a cancellation of debt, is a form that lenders send to both you and the IRS when they forgive, cancel, or discharge a debt of $600 or more. Here's the key thing to understand though. When you borrow money, it's not considered taxable income because you're expected to repay it. But when a lender forgives your debt, the IRS may consider that amount as taxable income, meaning you might owe taxes on it. When would you receive a 1099-C? So you may receive a 1099-C if you had debt forgiven or discharged in these situations. A credit card debt settlement if you negotiated a lower payoff amount with your creditor. A foreclosure or a short sale, like say if your lender canceled part of your mortgage debt. Another one is a car loan default. So if your vehicle was repossessed and the lender forgave part of the loan balance. Another one is medical or personal loans. So if a lender writes off an unpaid balance in that instance. And another one is bankruptcy discharge. So sometimes lenders issue a 1099-C even though bankruptcy might make you exempt from taxes on that debt. Another big question is, do you owe taxes on canceled debt? Here's where many people get confused. Receiving a 1099-C form does not always mean you owe taxes on that canceled debt. There are exceptions that allow you to exclude canceled debt from taxable income, like an insolvency exception. If your total debts exceeded your total assets when the debt was canceled, you may not have to pay taxes on it. Or say like bankruptcy discharge. If the debt was wiped out in bankruptcy, it is not taxable. Or like certain student loan forgiveness programs. Some student loan forgiveness programs are tax exempt. Another one to think about is qualified principal residence indebtedness. If your mortgage debt was forgiven during a short sale or foreclosure under specific IRS rules, it might not be taxable. So if you believe one of these tax exemptions applies to you, you may need to file IRS Form 982 to exclude the forgiven amount from your taxable income. Here's a tip to be aware of. Don't just assume you owe taxes. Consult a tax professional or use tax1099.com to file correctly. Again, I'll throw that affiliate link in the description. So how to file a 1099-C on your taxes. If your 1099-C amount is taxable, you will need to report it as other income on your tax return. And here's how to handle it. Check the details on your 1099-C and make sure your name, social security number, and the forgiven debt amount are correct. Errors can be disputed with the lender. Step number 2, determine if you qualify for an exemption using Form 982. For certain instances, there will be relief exemptions. Step number 3, report the income on your tax return. If canceled debt is taxable, enter it on Schedule 1, which is found on Form 1040 on line 8C as other income. And step number 4, file electronically to avoid mistakes. Use a trusted e-filing service like tax1099.com. It can make the process faster and easier. Again, that link will be in the description. So some common mistakes to avoid here. Do not ignore the Form 1099-C. The IRS gets a copy too, so failing to report it could lead to an audit. Another mistake to avoid is assuming you automatically owe taxes. Check if you qualify for an exclusion or an exemption before paying. Another one is not filing Form 982. If you qualify for relief, this form is critical to reducing or eliminating your tax liability. And again, do not wait too long to handle all of this. The deadline to file is April 15th, so don't wait until the last minute. So let's recap this and have some final thoughts, because this is a lot to take in, right? If you've received a 1099-C, don't panic too much. Just because debt was canceled doesn't mean you always have to pay taxes. The key is knowing your options and filing correctly. And again, if you need help filing your 1099-C, Tax1099.com, which I'll throw a link down below, makes the process simple and hassle-free. And if you guys have any further questions, hit me up down in the comments. I'll try my best to reply. But guys, before you go, check out this next video. I'm sure you're gonna love it.